Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the secrets of corporate filings to give you the real story. Today we're looking at a filing from Vital Energy, Incorporated, a company that seems to be on the verge of a major shift. We'll be diving into what went down at their recent stockholder meeting and what it means for the company's future. Before we get too deep, if you enjoy breaking down these complex documents into bite-sized insights, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We also have a fantastic community over on Discord linked in the description below where we discuss these filings further. So what is this document all about? Well, Vital Energy Incorporated is filing a Form 8, which is essentially a report of unscheduled material events or corporate changes. Think of it as a corporate announcement of big news that investors need to know about right away. The earliest event reported here took place on the 12th of December 2025, and that is the date of this report. This is a standard filing for Vital Energy Incorporated, a company incorporated in Delaware. They have common stock, and it is traded on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker symbol VETL. Now, this introductory note provides some crucial background. Vital Energy Incorporated had previously announced a deal to be acquired by Crescent Energy Company. This deal is an all-equity transaction, meaning Vital Energy shareholders will receive Crescent Energy shares in exchange for their Vital Energy shares. The acquisition is happening through a two-step merger process. The main event on the 12th of December 2025 was a special meeting of Vital Energy stockholders. They were asked to vote on two key proposals. The first was the big one, the merger proposal. This is where stockholders voted on whether to approve the agreement to be bought by Crescent Energy. The second proposal was an advisory compensation proposal. This is a non-binding vote on the compensation packages for Vital Energy's top executives that are tied to this merger. It is advisory, meaning the company doesn't legally have to follow it, but it is a strong signal of what the shareholders think. To have a valid meeting, a certain number of shares needed to be represented, and in this case, over 26 million shares were present either virtually or by proxy, which is great for a quorum. Here is where it gets interesting. For the merger proposal, almost all the votes were in favour. A massive 26,111,925 shares voted for the merger. Only 242,604 voted against it, and there were 265,150 abstentions. This overwhelming approval means that Vital Energy's shareholders are on board with being acquired by Crescent Energy. Now, let's look at the compensation vote. This is where things diverge. Only 11,824,680 shares voted for the executive compensation related to the merger, and a significant 14,659,405 shares voted against it. There were 135,594 abstentions. This result shows a clear disapproval from the shareholders regarding the executive compensation tied to the merger. Even though it is advisory, this is a pretty strong message from the owners of the company to its leadership. Following the meeting on the 12th of December 2025, Vital Energy issued a press release announcing these results. Essentially, they confirmed that the merger is moving forward because the critical merger proposal passed convincingly, but they also acknowledged the shareholder concerns about executive pay. With the shareholder vote secured, the company is now looking to close this deal very soon, with an expected closing date of the 15th of December 2025. In any corporate filing, you'll find these forward-looking statements sections. These are essentially legal disclaimers where the company talks about what they expect to happen in the future, but they warn that actual results could be very different due to various risks and uncertainties. It is a way for them to protect themselves from lawsuits if things don't go as planned. This section lays out potential challenges like successfully integrating the two companies, potential disruptions, and how the announcement might affect stock prices and relationships with customers and employees. It is a standard but important part of these filings. This section is generally about any exhibits or additional documents that are being filed along with the report. And here we see the specific exhibits, chief among them being the press release. Exhibit 99.1 is the press release that officially announced the results of the special meeting, which we've touched upon. Finally, we have the signatures. This is where the authorized officers of the company sign off, confirming that everything in the report is true and accurate to the best of their knowledge. Here it is signed by Brian J. Lemmerman, the Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. Now, let's look at the bigger picture here with Vital Energy. On one hand, the overwhelming approval of the merger proposal by shareholders is a clear indication that they believe this acquisition by Crescent Energy is a good move for their investment. They are essentially saying goodbye to Vital Energy as a standalone company and welcoming Crescent Energy shares. This signals a positive outlook on the combined entity's potential. However, the strong disapproval of the executive compensation package is a significant red flag. It shows that while shareholders are happy with the deal's strategic direction, they are not comfortable with how the leadership is being rewarded for it. This disconnect could lead to future governance issues, or at least make it harder for the new management team to gain broad shareholder confidence. The swift expected closing date of the 15th of December suggests that Crescent Energy is eager to finalize this acquisition, likely eager to realize the anticipated synergies and operational efficiencies from combining the two businesses. The failure of the advisory compensation proposal could put pressure on the combined company's leadership to reassess those compensation structures, or at least be very mindful of them going forward. This is a classic situation where strategy might be embraced, but the perceived fairness of the execution is questioned. It's a reminder that even in major corporate events like mergers, shareholder sentiment on executive pay can be a powerful force. Alright, that is our breakdown of Vital Energy's latest filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Do you think the shareholders made the right call on the merger? And what about that compensation vote? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps. And subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description for more discussions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.